All right, the reason you click this video is because you're unprofitable. It is because you're struggling. You might have gotten some payouts, but they're not consistent. You might have never received your first payout before. You're watching this video because you need help. You're watching this video because you're struggling. And I'm going to start it off like this. I would probably say 9 times out of 10, the reason that a trader is struggling is not their strategy. It's them. And when I say that it's them, it's your psychology. It is the way that you think. It is the way that you approach the markets on a daily basis, because honestly, the actual strategy is the easiest part. Your strategy is going to be the easiest learning process in your trading. After that, your strategy then is learning yourself. This is what I always tell people. That is always the hardest journey, the hardest part. You can learn a strategy in weeks, but that mental side, that psychological aspect of trading is what can take months, even years for a lot of people to master. And you have to really ask yourself, like, I'll say for myself as an example, one of my worst, I guess, enemies within myself, one of my biggest faults and flaws is just not being able to sometimes handle losses and manage that properly. But when you really look at it in the grand scheme of things, right, a lot of us traders are males. Trading is a male-dominated space. Not saying that there is no females that trade, but it's a male-dominated space. So majority of you guys watching probably are males. And what I'm going to say is this. Look, as a man, you are telling yourself that you lack emotional control. You lack self-control. That is a female trait. I'm going to be 1,000% honest. This is what I'm telling myself, though. If it relates to you, it relates to you. But this is what I'm telling myself right now. That is a female trait. As a man, you cannot regulate and control your emotions. Emotions and trading go hand in hand. You cannot turn your emotions off. You cannot stop having them. But what you should be able to do and what you should focus on mastering is the control of them. And what I mean by this is, like, I listened to a podcast. It was a psychologist speaking. It was this woman talking, and she was saying a lot of times, like, you can't fault yourself for having emotions or for having feelings, but you can control and try to manage them by understanding your inputs and what sparks these issues. And what I mean by this is that I say this analogy all the time. If I know for a fact that I have a fear of sharks, I'm just not going to get in the ocean. I'm not going to swim in the deep water. Like, I ain't trying to get bit. If I know I got a fear of snakes and I see a house that says it's full of snakes, I'm not going to go near that house because I know I'm going to get scared. I know I'm likely to get bit. I know it's all these negative things that could possibly happen. And it's the same with your trading. That is how you need to approach it. Because listen, if you know that you are more susceptible to let your emotions get involved, if you know that your emotions are way more likely to become a factor when you're trading after X, Y, and Z happens, stop letting X, Y, and Z happen. It is simple fixes just like that. And I'm speaking to myself still because I have days where I still blow up sometimes, and I have days where I still just mentally am not fully there, and I get in my own way, I get in my own head, and it is a drop in the bucket. Understand that trading is a long process, and it is the grand scheme of things at the end of the day. This day-to-day stuff does not matter. This day-to-day stuff, dude, like, it won't, like, you won't even remember it in a month or two. Like, unless if it's some catastrophic loss or a major big win, you're not going to remember the trade that you took or that day or how you really felt for real. So stop letting these little small things get in the way of that. Stop letting these small things really regulate and affect your life, because these blow up days and you constantly putting yourself in more of a deep hole and a negative cycle is only making it worse for you long term. And it can all be avoided if you were able to just manage and regulate yourself, regulate your emotions, understand what to do, what not to do. And this all comes from studying yourself as well. Quick intermission. If you guys have ever seen the movie Inside Out, I want you to practice. Well, if you haven't, do your research on it. It's just a movie about the inside of our brains and how our body and we have our different emotions and how they react to stuff. I've never seen it, but I know that's like the premise of it. So think about yourself as if you were those characters in that movie. The people that are inside of you, the voices in your head, whatever the case may be, that are there to regulate, control you, and things like that. I need you to act as if you are thinking in their point of views. And what I mean by this is when you're trading, be able to analyze and be very self-aware of yourself as you are in the market, because without this self-awareness, it is a lot easier to go on tilt. You need to be able to understand when you're most likely to go on tilt, what emotions you feel building up to that, and I want you to write all this stuff down, journal it, analyze it. And as you do this over time, you'll be able to see trends. You'll be able to feel trends, see trends, and see, okay, once I start to feel my hand shaking a little bit, I feel a little nervous, that is when I'm more likely to take random trades and take trades that are outside of my, outside of my model, outside of my system, things like that. Think about yourself as if you are a character in that movie, working to regulate your body, regulate your mind as you are on the charts. And I promise you, this will also help you, because you need to be as self-aware as possible in order to prevent the crazy blow up days from happening. Because sometimes once your brain does get into that mindset, once your brain shifts into that fight or flight, that defense mode, it is very, very hard to get out of. And it's either going to be you're going to lose all your money, which is probably like 99% of the time. You're going to get lucky and maybe make a little bit, but that's not sustainable over time. So think about that, apply it going forward. And yeah, I just thought about that while I was walking. But yeah, back to the. You need to understand how you work, how you think, and you need to be your biggest self-critic. You need to study yourself. Like, you need to be obsessed with yourself. And it sounds, what's that, narcissistic, but like, you really have to be. You have to understand how you think, where you are best at, where you thrive, where you're not. And this is all going to go hand in hand with your trading. This is even outside of, trading as well. This is life. Like, you need to really be very critical about yourself and understand, okay, I take 3 losses, I'm way more likely to revenge trade. I take 2 losses, I'm more likely to revenge trade. I lose more than X amount of dollars. The percentage of me, my first trade, I lose X amount of dollars, and then, the percentage of me actually being able to get out of that hole on the day is 20%. So if I lose X amount of dollars, I'm gonna just stop trading that day and come back the next day. It's all these little statistics that you can learn and analyze about yourself that come with documentation, journaling, stuff like that, so you can get better and become a better version of yourself over time. Because at the end of the day, you sometimes cannot control your emotions. You are human, right? You cannot control them coming into play, but you can control the inputs. You can't control the inputs. Sometimes we get into our emotions, when we get into that way of thinking to where we're in defense mode and we just want to revenge trade and get that money back, you're not in the correct state of mind. You're in a fight or flight sense of mindset. Like, you're not all there. You're not thinking rationally. You're not thinking with correct, rationality, to where you're not going to be aware of all this. You can't control it. So what do? Control the inputs. Control what gets you to that point. Understand what gets you to that point, and understand how to avoid it and how to best strengthen that muscle within your brain, that discipline muscle, being able to walk away. Because at the end of the day, like I said prior, one day does not matter. It literally doesn't. One day is a drop in the ocean. Like, you will not remember one day unless if you make it catastrophic. Like I said, make it catastrophic. Yes, you might remember that day. You might feel that day for a couple days, a couple weeks, whatever the case may be. But if you're able to just walk away and make your main priority taking 1 to 2 trades a day, win or lose, walk away after that, I guarantee you over time, especially if you're taking the right trades with the right confluence that you believe in and that you're comfortable with putting money behind, over time you will see success. It is damn near impossible not to. Like, it is damn near impossible not to. And you need to really understand this and think about this, because we get so, like, look at that old school, that's clean, look at that. They give me an old school, but it's so hard not to fail. Like, if you are just doing that and making that your only and main priority, it is damn near impossible to fail. Another thing I want to talk about, like I said earlier, as a grown man, not being able to control yourself is a very, very, very bad trait to have. It is a female trait. It is a trait that, the lack of self-control and the lack of discipline is what caused people to fail in the Bible. I don't want to make this too, I don't want to go back too much and make it too religious, but it is the same issues that men have struggled with for the beginning of time, since the beginning of time. And so know that you are not alone, and know that it is not easy. I understand that. Self-control goes beyond trading as well. Self-control is every facet in life. You need to be able to demonstrate that, be able to demonstrate discipline and translate this, because this can make or break you as a man or a woman at the end of the day. Man or woman. Like, you know, like I said prior, this is a male-dominated space. Women are known to tend to have better, I guess, just disciplined receptors when it comes to this facet. But this goes for everybody. Self-control will be the number one factor when it comes to your trading. Because if you do not have self-control, you don't have discipline. If you don't have discipline, you will not be successful. Simple as that. Simple as that. If you can manage these things, if you can understand them and be able to actually tell yourself no sometimes, be able to regulate yourself and regulate your emotions as best as possible, cage that beast within, because we all have it, you will be fine. This is to myself. This is to any trader that is in a similar situation that needs to hear this. I hope you guys can gain value from it. And I really appreciate you guys for listening. I have a free Discord in my bio. Join that up, learn with me, train with me. I am getting back into the routine of everything. I did take a slight break, which I do apologize for, but I'm trying to get back consistent, trying to bring y'all more videos. And so yeah, join that up, like, comment, subscribe. If you disagree with me, let me know why. If you agree with me, let me know. So yeah, I'm gonna catch you on the next one. I do appreciate y'all for watching, and I hope you have the best rest of y'all day. Peace out.